Hello and welcome, my Taurus friends. This is Jennifer from Mystic Star. I want to thank you so much for spending time with me today and watching this video. This is going to be a group reading for the October Mercury Retrograde for my Taurus friends. Don't know about you, but I feel like we just finished Mercury Retrograde. I don't know if it's because we loathe this time so much. However, we're back again at Mercury Retrograde. I'm not going to go into depth into what Mercury Retrograde is. There's a lot of fantastic websites that give the scientific reasoning behind what Mercury Retrograde is. Over the next 3-ish weeks, we're going to be looking at a lot of communication issues, miscommunications, computer problems, there's so much going to happen. So what we're going to look at is kind of mapping out what that's going to look like for you, and then also some coping strategies to get through the next 3 weeks. We can't control how Mercury retrograde impacts us. However, we can try and control and focus in on how we respond to situations. The deck I chose for this reading is the Tarot de Nuit, and I'll be ending off the session with an oracle blessing from the Oracle of the Shapeshifters. Like always, there are links below to both these fantastic decks, so should they speak to you, you can go check them out for yourselves. All right, my Taurus friends, let's see what the cards have to say today. All right, what card symbolizes my Taurus friends over Mercury retrograde? It's a beautiful card. The Queen of Swords. Queens are that feminine, nurturing energy. Swords about truth and knowledge. The Queen of Swords is an amazing queen. She has learned everything she knows through life experience. She has hit all those hard rocks, had those things knocked into her, yet she still continues to stand and hold her head up high. And that's going to be an important energy that you're going to need to embrace over the next 3 weeks, my Taurus friends. Let's look at what the next 3 weeks are going to look like. What is the biggest challenge my Taurus friends will face for the first week of Mercury retrograde? Judgment. It truly is a beautiful card. Going to be a bit of a challenge for you though. It's going to be very, very challenging the first week for you to connect into that higher source. You're not going to get those messages clearly and concisely as you'd hoped from that universal messenger, whether that be an angel, archangel, your guides, your guardians. You're going to have a big barrier to connecting into your higher self and the high vibrational beings. Not something that we always appreciate. So if you're trying to reach out, it may be a big challenge for you. Please don't get frustrated. It's Mercury retrograde. Keep trying. I am getting the understanding that they are going to be hearing us. They are not impacted by Mercury retrograde as much as we are. They can hear us, no problem. It's just they're not going to be able to get that message to us. We're not going to get it. Let's look at what the second week is going to look like for my Taurus friends. That one jumped out. Apparently the second week is going to be really exciting. That was the Five of Wands. Fives are a conflictual number. They're all about conflict and struggle. Wands are about that passion. The Five of Wands is really highlighting how competing thoughts, passions, and emotions are going to be really misconstrued and misunderstood. The second week in Mercury retrograde is not a great week for you to go out and be with people. Limit the amount of time that you have, because these hurts and misunderstandings are going to be really widespread for you. Kind of limit your contact with people. Do what you need to do on a regular basis. However, try and do more independently. Or try and be very flexible with how you respond and read into emails, texts, those type of things. People are, their communication skills are going to be skewed and out of whack. It's going to be really important that you don't become defensive about what is being said or how you are interpreting it being said. Let's look at the final week. And that jumped out too. Although I caught it, that was good. And that's the Magician, the first card in the Major Arcana. This one talks about your abilities. So you're going to have a challenge in connecting in with your gifts and abilities. Things that you may have found quite easy to do and haven't had problems in the past are going to be a challenge. Take time and care and have patience with yourself, because Mercury retrograde isn't only about that interpersonal external communication, it's also about that internal piece. We are very hard on ourselves, and Mercury retrograde, we're extremely hard on ourselves. Take heed and care of what you're trying to do. Give yourself more time, give yourself more patience. Interesting pattern you have two major arcanas. The first and third week are going to be impacting and kind of playing on major life issues. That disruption in connection with the universe, and actually if you're a Reiki master or if you're pulling down the universal energy, it's going to be disrupted again in the Magician. But those abilities to connect in and use what you inherently know and can do are going to really be impacted. Now that we've gone through that nice, exciting, and happy news, let's look at how we can overcome it. Part of mapping isn't just about saying, oh, woe is me, this is going to be a crappy next 3 weeks. What you put out is what you get back in. Knowing that this is going to happen, let's get some coping strategies in play here. So what can my Taurus friends do to overcome their miscommunication and interpretation of information and messages from the universe and higher source? The Sun. It's one of my favorite cards. The Sun is the 17th card in the Major Arcana. The Sun is about hopes and dreams, but more importantly, it's about balance. The star usually has a woman standing with 1 foot on land and 1 foot in the water. She's pouring water from jugs, 1 in water, 1 onto land. It's going to be really helpful for you, Taurus, to take time to not only make sure that you are balanced and grounded, but that your energies are flowing. Just because you know it's going to be a challenge doesn't mean you don't do it. Keep trying, keep reading those symbols, keep trying to communicate. Like I said, the high vibrational beings are not going to be impacted by this. Their vibration is higher than what Mercury is. They are very clearly telling me they're still going to hear you. They'll want to keep connecting in. So keep going. Riding a bike initially was really challenging. Most of us now have that ability to ride a bike or write our name or whatever it is, brush our hair, brush our teeth. Things were at one time a challenge. When things are a challenge, sometimes that makes, not only will your skills be strengthened, which is a fantastic thing. If you're able to communicate during the first week of Mercury retrograde, you're working on skills that will help down the line, because you're going to have that those tools to be able to connect in at an easier pace when the connections in Mercury retrograde energy isn't in play. So first week, keep going. Don't give up. Balance yourself. Make sure your energies are flowing. Make sure that you're trying. When you keep going and you keep trying, that's when you're going to feel like there's something there. All right, let's look at what the second week. What can my Taurus friends do to overcome the challenges of personal and interactions between people and miscommunications and misinterpretations. The Angel de Nuit. This is a card that is only obviously to this deck. And there are decks that will do this. They will put in their own card. And that is exactly what has happened here. So Angel de Nuit, which means angel of the night, talks about that importance of believing in yourself. Like I said before, there's going to be a lot of miscommunication, misinterpretations of dealing with people. This is going to be a fantastic week to go inwards. Take time for those shadowy, dark places. You will find amazing things within that week. That knowledge will increase here. Like the knowledge here is increasing because you're going to learn how to connect in when it's a challenge. This is a time for inner reflection. Also, when people are communicating with you, trust in yourself. Be true to yourself and be kind to yourself. Be kind to others, because they too are going to be impacted by Mercury retrograde. Really reflect on that true intention of what it is you're trying to convey. Let's look at the final week. What will help my Taurus friends during the final week of Mercury retrograde, and how to draw in and work with the Magician. That's a 7 of Swords. 7s are a challenge number. Swords, like I said, the truth and knowledge. Usually the 7 of Swords is a fellow trying to steal 5 swords and leaving 2 behind at an enemy camp. Well, the 7 of Swords talks about trying to get away with too much. That theft, if you will. Take what you can, but don't overtake. If that makes any sense. The Magician and you are going to be struggling to connect in with those skills and abilities. Do what you can, but don't push yourself too hard on this. Unlike here, where that challenge is going to be important, the little things, celebrate them. 7 is a victory, or like a victorious card, but you may find that some of your abilities are really stunted in the 3rd week. Take what you can, grab the knowledge from it. What is it that you are able to do, and why is it you're able to do that and not other things? Try and focus on that. Pick that apart, and that will help you really connect into that ability to draw in not only that universal knowledge, the energy, the love, all of it. And most importantly, take care with yourself. I can't reiterate enough. It's going to be a pretty frustrating 3 weeks. Take it slow, nurture yourself, and really think about your responses. We so instantly go to that hurt space. Is that what's happening? And that's exactly what's going to happen in the 2nd week. All right, let's look at what that main coping strategy and tool will be for my Taurus friends throughout the next 3 weeks. You got another sword, the Knight of Swords. Knights are that no fear attitude, that no fear energy. And that's really what you need to be taking in here, Taurus. You can't be afraid of this. This isn't going to hurt you. It might feel bad at times. It's going to feel frustrating. But you need to have no fear. You need to go in like a knight with a sword drawn. You have the knowledge to overcome this. We started with the Queen of Swords. She's done Mercury retrograde a bajillion times. She knows how to get through it. You've got some major swords here as supports. So that knowledge piece is there, you have it. It's tapping into it and using it. Using past skills. We've lived through dozens, hundreds of Mercury retrogrades. At times we didn't even know that was what it was. We know how to do this. We know what happens when people start to have miscommunications and things are going awry for you. Take the knowledge, not the emotion. Let's look at what further information will help my Taurus friends overcome the next 3 weeks. And that's another sword, the Three of Swords. I just said take the knowledge, not the emotion. We can't take that emotion on. When we start to focus from an emotional state, you have 0 cups on this reading. When we focus in on that emotional piece, it's going to be our undoing. You need to focus on that knowledge piece. Take the knowledge, drop the emotion piece. Work from your head rather than your heart over the next 3 weeks. Let's look at what your shadow self wants to add. And that's the Tower. Now the Tower is the 16th card in the Major Arcana. We fear the Tower, but the Tower brings us change. That over the next 3 weeks you're going to see change. And the amount of pain that the Tower and this change brings is going to really be how much emotion you read into it. Change is not a bad thing. We change seasons, things, we grow and change. That's an important evolutionary part of who we are. Using these skills, you're not going to find that the Tower is as impactful and painful as it can be. Go from your head, not your heart. All right, let's look at a blessing. What blessing can we give my Taurus friends for Mercury retrograde in October? A beautiful little woman. Take care of yourself. That pretty much sums it up. Take the time you need, nurture yourself, allow yourself to grow, allow yourself that time. Some of this is going to be really helpful that you're on an internal space rather than an external platform. But do take care of yourself. Give yourself a little bit of extra love over the next 3 weeks. You'll really appreciate it, and your body and mind and soul will love it. For those who wish, you can pause the video here and reflect on these cards. This is a group reading. However, I drew these cards especially for my Taurus friends. What further information do they want to share with you? Like I said, this is a group reading. If you're looking for something more personal or specific, you can follow the link below and schedule a private reading with myself. For those who are interested, I will be running online introductory and interactive classes through Zoom. The first class is on November 11th, where I'll be running my Introduction to Angels and Archangels class. Then on December 9th, I'll be running my Introduction to Connecting, which is a Channelings class. If you're interested in both or either of these classes, you can find out more information and register on my website. Below, I've provided a link to my classes page where you can go check this stuff out. I hope you found this video fun and helpful, and that you were able to gain some insight and direction into Mercury retrograde. I want to thank you so much for spending some time with me today and watching this video. I will continue to create fun and insightful videos for my zodiac friends. If you have any ideas or suggestions, please leave them below. I'm always up for feedback from my friends. If you like this video, please remember to give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for the latest content. You never know where I'm going to go next, and I'd hate for you to miss a video. Also, if you like this video and want to support me making more, I have a Patreon page with many tiers and lots of perks. In some of my tiers, the perks are private readings with myself. I provided a helpful link below, so why not go check it out? Until tomorrow, my Taurus friends.